Welcome friends, welcome back to the hangar. So today is the day. Today is the day we're going to take Charlie Foxtrot Mike Victor uniform over to Chris's shop and we're going to rip the panel out. We're going to take out all of the avionics, all of the steam gauges or clockwork gauges, depending on what you want to call them. And we're going to sit back and look at what's left, what the wiring is, and if our initial idea of the panel refurbishment is going to work. So it's 5 degrees Celsius, cold and rainy at Edenvale today. It's not going to be fun pulling it over to Chris's shop, but let's get going. Any particular rhyme or reason?
I think just rip and tear, and they'll start to come together, I guess.
Okay.
We'll see.
Rip and tear. So that is a real rat's nest of wires, isn't it?
It is. We should be able to figure it out. It's so busy, but really it's that unit there.
So this is a primitive wigwag module for the position lights and
so there's your nav light circuit. We just got to switch this, put a new switch on it.
Switch.
Right, and then we'll put power to the switch, put a circuit breaker. We'll just cut it from the circuit breaker. So it shouldn't be, like, you see what I'm saying? It's not that daunting.
Okay.
Once we get it pulled out, like, we got 2 wires, that's going to go to our nav lights. You know.
When Chris took the front off of the panel, I freaked out a little bit because there's all these wires in the back and I didn't know what was, I couldn't, but now that it's all laid out and organized, there's really not that much going on in here. Really not that much going on in here.
Those 2 are your starter.
Okay.
Now we're getting into, so we got the stall horn to go, and then we got to figure out our fuel gauges. And we're down to 4 wires that aren't identified right now.
4 unidentified wires. I think that's pretty good.
So far.
So this is everything that Chris has pulled out of the plane so far, and none of it is going back in. So I'll just give you a rundown of what was in the panel. There's a Hobbs meter. The Hobbs meter just tells you how many hours the aircraft has been in use. And that number is backed up with the number on the tachometer, although they read different numbers. They don't read the same amount of time. And so sometimes this is clicked on with a, did you say an oil pressure switch? The Hobbs meter?
Yeah, and it didn't have one. Yeah, so it just ran when the master switch was on.
So as soon as the master switch was turned on, whether the engine was running or not, or the plane was in the air or not, the Hobbs meter started running. Next up, this is the suction gauge, and the suction was run by this Venturi on the side. This plane didn't have a vacuum pump, and so this Venturi air flows through and causes suction, and this suction runs most of the other equipment that was in the panel. Next up, we have the altimeter, and the altimeter was run just off of the static port, and of course that tells you your altitude. This is your climb rate, again, just run by the static port, and that tells you how quickly you're going up or down. The next gauge is the turn coordinator, and so this is run electrically. It's also a turn and slip. It also tells you whether the plane is going sideways through the air and your rate of turn. Tachometer, full-on connection to the engine for RPM. This is the directional gyro, also runs off of the suction system. It's kind of like a compass, but it's not like a compass, but it's like a compass. And this is the artificial horizon, again, run off of the suction system. And just like it sounds, it is an artificial horizon. So all of these things are going to be replaced by the Dynon system, as well as the airspeed indicator, which is still in the panel. And a lot of this other stuff is going to find a new home. I'm going to hang on to these instruments. I think it might be cool just to kind of hang on to them. And the clock, where is the clock? The little Cessna clock I think is kind of cool. I might repurpose that and put it in the new panel. I also took out a Garmin GPS and a couple of radios and a transponder. All of these already have a new home. Someone else on the field is going to take those. Welcome, friends. Welcome back to Chris's Hangar. I thought today what we'd do is go through this big box of equipment that we've got from Dynon and take a look at every piece of gear that we're going to put into the panel. And it seems really daunting to me, but I think it all makes sense. And I know that Chris knows what's going on, and I'm in good hands to have him install it all. So let me just pull this stuff out and we'll see what we've got. Lots of cables, so many cables. So many cables. Okay. So these are all the goodies that we got from Dynon for a fairly simple VFR panel. And we're only putting in a single screen at this point, I think. Well, I know that this only contains a single screen. So a lot of these wires, these are all wiring harnesses. And they're all pre-wired, they're the correct length. Most of them have the tails on both ends, so it's just plug and play. Some of these don't have a tail on both ends, like this one. This is the Skyview network cable, and it's 20 foot. So this goes from the panel to the aft section of the aircraft, probably for the remote magnetometer. And it's all made up at one end perfectly. The other end doesn't have the connector on it, so it's easy to thread through the plane. So you can just thread it through, and then everything you need to connect it is also in the bag, making it super easy to put together. A lot of these other things are for the engine management system. Probes and temperature gauges. This is for EGT, EGT temperature wire harness. So it's all made up on one end, and the other end is all labeled and ready to go into the probes. We've got a fuel flow transducer so that we know how much fuel we're using per hour. Great for planning, great for engine management. Another harness, this is for the ADSB. Same sort of thing. It's made up on one end, and the other end is left so that you can thread it through, and then you make it up. But most of these harnesses or cables are all made up completely, so it's just plug and play behind the panel. That's what all of those are. And in these bags, we have all of the probes and stuff for engine management, which is fantastic. So keep all of that together. The thing everyone is probably most interested in is the screen. So we just got the smaller screen because, there it is, all packaged up really nicely. Because the larger screen will not fit in our panel. The way the panel is laid out, where the yoke is, it just doesn't give enough space. So we just got the smaller one, and we will eventually put two in. But it comes packaged really nicely, and it's pretty light. That's about as thick as it gets. It's got a couple of fans on the back. You will see it more closely when we go to put it in. So set that aside. These two brown boxes, these are radio modules. So the transponder module, which is this one, it's just a tiny little box that can be placed anywhere, wiring harness run to it. And this one is the comm radio. And it is same size box, same type of connectors on the back, but it has this really cool button and knob panel. It's got a little screen, and there's buttons for tower, ADAHRS, ground, and ATC. And so you don't have to go to the main screen to choose your radio channels, but you can go to the main screen and choose your radio channels. But this is just a really quick and easy way, right on the panel, tactile buttons, so if you're in turbulence, it's very easy to change the comm. Close that up, set it aside. This is probably out of turn, but this is a shelf that you can order. And so this goes against the panel, the screen goes on the front, and on the back side, it's pre-drilled for other components. So you can stack other components on this shelf, keep everything nice, organized, and easy to get at, which is something that we did not find with the old panel. There's a real rat's nest of wires in behind. This is the ADS-B. So this is ADS-B in and out. And as you can see, it's just a tiny little unit. Uses the standard Dynon at one end, and it has a BNC at the other end. All of your componentry is included in the box. Tiny, light, very easy. Next we have the EMS 220. Wonder what that is. That is your engine monitoring. So again, it has the Skyview attachment on one end, and on the other side, everything that goes to your engine probes. Lots of connections with that one, and it comes with all of the little bits and pieces that you need to make it work. Next up, this is the GPS. So the remote GPS unit. Now it looks like a GPS antenna, but most GPS antennas that you see have a BNC out. It's just sending a radio wave. This has data cable. So my understanding, and I may be wrong, but my understanding is that this converts all of the GPS information internally into data, and it runs along a data cable instead of sending radio information over a BNC cable. Very interesting. Okay, and so that'll go on the top of the plane. We'll just be replacing the existing GPS antenna with this one. Next up, this has a warning label. This is a battery, and this is a battery as well. So these are the backup batteries. One is the backup battery for the main system, and one is the backup battery for the backup system. Backup battery power. If power fails and everything goes out, you'll still be able to get down to land. The system takes care of charging them as you go along, so you don't have to worry about recharging the battery. It's hooked in behind the panel. Everything happens seamlessly in the background. This is the remote magnetometer. So for a lot of the magnetic information that needs to be fed to the panel, you don't want to have it up front because there's a giant piece of steel and iron at the front of the airplane. So this will go, in our installation, this will go in the aft compartment, behind the aft baggage, way in the back of the aircraft. I know that a lot of people will end up putting it in a wing compartment because that's far enough away and it's hidden and it's put away. So this will go in the back of our aircraft. It'll go back where the ELT is going to go. So you'll see that installed with the ELT at some point. This is a Skyview knob control panel. So just like the radio had knobs. This is a dedicated 3-knob panel. So you can set your information for the altimeter, your barometric pressure, and your heading and track. So when you set up your flight plan and you know which direction you're going, you can set it on here. Again, it's a knob, which is really nice to have a tactile knob that you can touch. I love touch screens, but I also know that bouncing around in the plane, it's not always the best option. So, and this is the ADAHRS. So this is the heart of the whole thing. This gets your air data. So it has the static port goes in, the pitot port goes in, and the AOA port goes in to this. So this all runs on air pressure. And it also has the outside air temperature probe, which will work in conjunction with the computer to make a bunch of calculations for density, altitude, and your true airspeed, your actual airspeed. This is the backup unit. And so it's completely redundant, separate from the rest of what's going on. So even if this main system goes down, this is your backup. And it is a self-contained little unit. Your air data goes in the back, just like it did with the ADAHRS unit. Electrical connections. So this has a backup battery. It also connects into some other things in the aircraft, and it has a little screen on it with buttons that give you all of your primary flight instruments are in this unit. So if everything else fails, you are still legal to fly with just this. It is your backup. It is your safety measure. So that'll go beside the main screen on the pilot side. And I know that was really quick. But as we move through the rest of the installation, you're going to see all of this stuff going in painful detail, hopefully. So, not quite as daunting once I've got it all out. I know that some of these pigtails scare me a little bit. You know, when I see 20 wires all differently color coded and they all have to go someplace. This is for the transponder. I get a little worried, but I know that I'm in good hands here with Chris. So come on back and see the full install. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.